and the Marquoyer has it on that wing. Here's a shot. Henderson made a wild stab for spell. Here's another shot. Right in front of score. Henderson has scored for Canada.
Welcome to our 50th episode of the Hockey Puckcast, man.
Yeah.
So last night you couldn't come out to the bar with us.
No, I couldn't. It was date night.
Yeah. I guess the girlfriend priorities over the boys.
Yeah, but I still managed to watch a bit of the game.
You showed that picture. I think you had the screen.
No, it was
behind
funny. It was so funny. We were at the patio at Moxie's downtown, and she even knew. She's like, "Hey, I'll take this seat so you could watch the game in the background," which is funny.
Yeah.
And my eyesight's so bad, so in the middle of the games, I had to keep asking her when Carolina came on the comeback. Hey, what's the score now? What's the score now? How much time's left? I'm like, I can't see. Oh, it's funny.
So were you like moving your head to the side? Like, I can't see. Let me like move.
No,
closer?
it was actually pretty good. So I could see properly. And she was a good sport about it too, because she knew I wanted to watch the game. She's like, if you want to go inside, we could go watch the game at the bar inside. But I knew she wanted to watch at the patio. I'm like, I'll sacrifice for you.
Yeah, I'll sacrifice. I'll still watch. I'll just make you tell me what the score is.
The score is, that's it.
That was hilarious, man. But yeah, 2-1 series for Vegas, man. What a game. If there's one game that from the entire playoffs that you didn't want to miss,
It was this one.
It was last night.
It was funny too, because I remember we were talking about it. We were just like, hey, whoever's losing, just take that team, because they're gonna come back. And I thought the same thing was gonna happen again, right? 3 games in a row where the team
You're getting giddy when
Yeah.
you're texting me. You're like, watch what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
and I was
yeah.
like, it's settle in.
It was crazy, because I'm like, once the second one went in, I'm like, they're coming back.
Yeah. No, it was. I mean, listen, we could talk about Mitch Marner's hat trick, the fastest hat trick in Stanley Cup history. Unbelievable that happened too. It's like we're at the bar and we could see half the bar. You could see the Marner lovers and the Marner haters.
Yep.
And they're all yelling at different times. It was pretty funny. You could just see everybody just got quiet when the game just got tied up. But yeah, unbelievable game. You saw the goals that Frederik Andersen let in.
Yeah, some of them, like, I just watched the highlights too, so trying to get a refresher, because I didn't see like any of the Vegas goals.
Yeah.
So like the last one that went off his blocker, like, yeah, maybe he should have done a little bit better job. But like other than that, I thought like a lot of the goals weren't really his fault, right? Like there was that wicked tip that went in off a defenseman and into the net. You can't really blame him on that and stuff. So
yeah, I just don't think that he brings confidence.
kind of shaky, right?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's not his fault, but I feel like they need to make a change. I think Bussi needs
Well,
to
just
play
even
next
just to like get like a fresh. Well, it's kind of crazy too, because Bussi hasn't played at all until yesterday, right?
Yeah.
In the playoffs.
And he was sharp.
No, he looked really good.
Yeah.
Other than the last goal.
That was not. That
Yeah.
was just. And I called it too. The boys is sitting there and going to overtime. I was like, guys, Vegas is gonna win this game, and it's gonna be a weird bounce that's gonna go in, and that's gonna end it. And that's exactly what ended up happening.
No, I thought
You could just tell. You could tell the game was so tight.
Yep.
And it was going back and forth. You knew that if there was going to be a goal, it was just going to be just a weird goal.
Yeah, even when they made the goaltending change, I noticed like there was a bit difference in like play styles. I felt like when Bussi was in net, he was like a bit more aggressive, coming out more to challenge the shots and stuff. I think that's what happened on the last one. Maybe came out to challenge and he was off his line, and then because he's so far out,
Walker, he was trying to knock it out, and then he just bounced.
I know it went off Bussi,
really
but I
weird.
think like that's kind of what happened too, right? He came out to challenge, and then because he's so far out, he didn't get on his post to kind of be there for that weird bounce off the board. So kind of sometimes it goes your way when you make the save, and then the other side.
Well, I think Bussi made like key 6-7 saves in the first OT.
Even Marner,
Hart,
right?
same thing.
Yeah, even Marner, he had that penalty shot, and
There was
Bussi
two
stopped him.
disallowed goals before the first goal. Actually,
Yeah,
was
one for
allowed,
the
so.
offside, and I think one for the goalie interference.
That was super.
Even I was kind of like worried too, because with that goalie interference too, like Anderson got hit in the head, and I thought maybe at that point, hey, you take him out just to be precautious, right? Because head injuries, you never know, right?
You would assume, right?
Yeah, and the way the goals were going in after, like, sure, it was like that was like the first period, and this didn't start happening till like late mid-second period. So you're like, oh, maybe is that why? But yeah, maybe you give Anderson a break, just because I feel like if you put in Anderson now, you don't want to put in Bussi for like game 4 when you're up against the wire,
yeah,
right?
because right now, you're down 2-1. Anderson comes in and he has another like subpar game. You're down 3-1. You're gonna put Bussi in a situation where now you got to win 3 games in a row to win the series. that's pretty unrealistic. I think this series already ran away from you.
Mhm.
So the best thing to do is game 4, bring Bussi in and let him run with it. You need that, man. Carter Hart on the other end is playing better. So, yeah. But it was wild, man.
was
Third
such a good
period,
game.
the way that the goals started. It was, how many seconds? Like 3 goals in.
Yeah, it was nuts. I was like,
I don't know how much time it
literally
was, man.
sitting there watching it, and then I'm like, okay, they got 1 goal. I'm okay, whatever. It's 4-1. Then I'm like, oh shit, they scored 2. Then literally like a couple minutes later, I'm like, oh, 3.
Yeah.
And then they scored that last one too. And the last goal was kind of wild too, because
Yeah.
it was like just a circus in front of the net, right?
Absolutely wild, man. This finals is really living up to how bad the semis were.
Yeah.
you know?
One thing I noticed about this series too is you can kind of tell like these teams are very streaky.
Yeah.
So it's not like teams are scoring. It's not like a very back and forth game. Like one team scores and the other team. You notice the goals are coming in bunches.
Yeah.
Like in game 1, Carolina had that 3-goal lead, right, or the 2-goal lead, and
Yeah.
then Vegas scored like 4 in a row to kind of win that game. And then same thing with the other game, right? Vegas had the 2 goals, and then Carolina scored 3. Vegas scored to tie, and then Carolina won in overtime. This game, same thing. Vegas came out hot, scored 4 goals. Carolina came back, scored 4 goals, and then Vegas won in OT.
Game 2, I believe Vegas they just sat at their own blue line. Like they
yeah.
had a neutral zone, and then all of a sudden they just moved back and they gave that neutral zone. And then you seen Stan Cove and Taylor Hall just skating. And I'm looking at my dad too. I'm like, Dad, this is it. Carolina's coming back. That was game 2.
Yeah.
Game was open. I felt like Vegas learned their lesson from that. So they're trying to hold a neutral zone. But then the game still ended up opening up. I think it was like 10-minute mark into the 3rd period. And then they had to respect it and gave them that space. And then Carolina just came in. And then they had that power play goal, which I think Vegas was pretty upset about. I forgot who went in the box when they tied the game up.
Oh, okay.
Hurricanes tied it up, but absolute wild game. I think the rest of the games are going to be like this
Oh,
too.
like pretty much this series, it's like been the same kind of throughout. Like
Yeah.
it's just like crazy stretches where like, team will score a couple goals, and like it's been like a really good series so far.
And we've been talking about Seth Jarvis too. I mean, I remember you were just yelling before he scored that OT goal in game 2.
Yeah.
Game 3, I don't know, man. I'm not seeing much. I'm not seeing what he's supposed to be. He's not playing like Seth Jarvis from regular season.
Yeah.
Seth Jarvis.
Like the big thing for I think that second line's been their best line by far.
by far.
Taylor Hall, I think he scored.
No, but even that third line, the Jordan Stahl line's been
it's good.
amazing.
No, and I think that second line's kind of been the line that's kind of like
Yes.
carried them this playoffs,
Yeah,
right?
it has. But first line, like Aho. But no, see the thing is, Aho did that key. So they're trying to clear the puck, Vegas, and then Aho stopped the puck, came down, made the play.
Honestly, like
Aho does all the small things. I just feel like Seth Jarvis on that line has to be that goal scorer.
even
Like,
you know
just need to
what the
come
thing
out.
is too. I think even for them, I feel like if they just shut down Vegas's first line, their other lines are doing so well too.
You mean
right?
the second line, Marner's line?
Well, yeah,
Marner's the
they're
second line.
probably the hottest line,
That's
right?
the hottest line. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I personally think the Canes are gonna win next game. It's
I
gonna
think
go to
so, too.
OT. Canes are gonna win it, and then it's gonna be a free for all. I have no idea.
I have a feeling like I want Vegas to win,
yeah.
but I have a feeling Carolina is gonna find a way
I
to.
don't know. Vegas has been the better team so far
Yeah.
in the series. I mean, even game 2, Vegas could have won that. We could have been talking about a sweep right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not tomorrow. They have 2-day break, so they're not playing tomorrow.
They're
either.
playing Tuesday.
They're playing Tuesday.
They won't play tomorrow anyways because the NBA game's on tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I can.
But you
just
needed
get
a
most.
break after the double OT. I don't know if you saw Tortorella's
Oh,
press
yeah.
conference.
Yeah.
And he was just acting like the rest of us. He's like, holy smokes, I can't
No,
believe
well,
that happened.
think about it like that. It's like, what was that? That's 3. Is it 3 games? No, the game 1 didn't go to
Game
OT.
1 didn't go to OT.
But game 2 and game
Yeah.
3, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was kind of excited. I was like, oh, we left downtown at like 1. Now I'm like, oh, maybe I might be able to catch the OT.
Yeah.
The second OT.
Yeah, when you messaged me like, hey, you guys still watching? I'm like, yeah, you coming?
Yeah.
No message. Got
Yeah.
crickets. I'm like, all right,
That's
girlfriend yelled at him.
Yeah.
All right. So you want to move on from this series? Let's talk about the next news, which is Larkin.
Yeah.
The Larkin news comes out.
Yeah, it was wild.
And everybody's losing their mind. I'm sitting here. I was like, this is not a surprise. Like, he made it very clear over the last 2-3 years. Yzerman, help us. Yzerman, help us. And Yzerman hasn't gone past the plan. Right now is the retooling, growing your prospects and everything. And then Larkin's asking every trade deadline, or nothing happened. And then the team fell off. They didn't make the playoffs. and now he's been there for almost 10 years. What they were saying is like, wow, just 2 months ago, he said that he wants to be here. Just 2 months ago, and now all of a sudden he wants to be out. Like, what the hell happened in 2 months?
Do you think something changed?
No, I just think he's fed up. Most likely this is my assumption. There's no news, but most likely he ended up sitting with the Detroit camp from the time that the season was over, sometime till now.
Figure out plans.
And I'm guessing he didn't see no confidence in what they're about to do. There was going to be no major splash or anything. And he was like, enough is enough. I need to get out of here.
I don't know. It's kind of like crazy now how the league's kind of getting. It feel bad. Like you don't want to say Detroit's like a small market, but like over the last 10 years, like you said, they haven't made the playoffs or anything like that, right? It's kind of been kind of like an irrelevant franchise, right? Especially after all the success they had back in like the early to like late 2000s, right?
Yeah.
And so now you're looking at that franchise. He's been there 10 years. He's their captain. You know, he's kind of like, but I think he's one of the like least talked about players. But I think that's just because he's in the market he is, right? And I think he's like very underrated and stuff like that. And it's just wild. I feel like it's kind of getting like the NBA now, where players are just staying loyal. Like,
well, he has a no trade clause too, and he wanted to be in Detroit for the rest of his career. But the thing is, are you wasting away your years? And right now, he feels like it is, right? If you're not giving confidence to the so-called core of your team, then this is what's going to happen. I personally felt like they should have traded him last year. That's what my thing was. Like, why? It was like you're overstayed your welcome in a way, because at a really good team, for a cup contending team, you're like a second line center, right? So a team like Minnesota or Montreal, I don't think he's going to go to Montreal personally. I think he's going to go stay in the States somewhere. Minnesota would be a really good fit for him.
What about him coming to Toronto?
He's not going anything north of the border.
You don't think so?
No way. I mean, Winnipeg, some news came out that Winnipeg was not on his do not draft list.
Okay.
So that means there is a chance, but I don't know. It would be a really good fit.
Well, you know, I think even with Winnipeg, man, I feel like they have a lot of pieces, man, because even his buddies, right, like Hellebuck, Corey Connor, right, so like a couple of U.S. guys.
Yeah, but I don't know if that city's really going to attract him.
Well, maybe he just
that's the problem with Winnipeg, man. It's hard attracting guys who want to get traded there, especially with the no trade clause.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. But I'm not absolutely surprised. Were you?
I don't know, kind of like especially the captain coming out and saying that and saying, I thought like, captain's captain, you're ride or die no matter what, right?
Yeah, but I think there's a limit too, man. A team can't just keep pushing on the same narrative.
Well, the thing that's kind of surprising for me is like at one point, like, they were the top team in the East, right? So
yeah, but somebody was gonna fall off.
I was gonna say, but their fall was like wild.
Yeah,
because at one point they were like one of the hottest teams in the league.
It's a very competitive division, man.
Yeah,
and we would not,
especially the East, right?
Yeah, we wouldn't have this conversation if this division thing wasn't it wasn't there. If it was just all open, you would see them in somehow fighting for it, but it didn't work out that way. So yeah, I don't know. I think I can't think of a team that's in the West Coast, but I feel like he's gonna end up going west. I don't know why. I just have this like hunch that he's going to go to the West. He's not going to stay in the
Do you
West.
think they're going to get a good package for him? Or I think it's harder to get a package when the player's kind of unsettled and, he wants to leave.
No, I mean, it depends if there's options of other teams. Like, if it's not just like, oh, I only want to get traded here. I think it's a modified no-trade clause, so it may work out Detroit's way. I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, Detroit's just absolutely like, no, we don't want to trade you. Do you think that just...
No, they're going to trade him.
They don't want any of that
No, they're going to trade
toxicity.
him. And Steve Yzerman doesn't make the playoffs this year. He's getting fired. I don't think anything's going to save him. No, I think his name's been saving him for this long.
Especially all the success he had in...
well, even Tampa,
right?
he's struggling in Tampa. He drafted the players. He was struggling. They got rid of him. Then they brought in what's his name? It's a French name. I forgot his name now. But anyways, they brought him and they won the cup. But
well, they were pretty much with his team though, right?
Yeah, no, they made 2 moves. Tampa made 2 major moves that kind of changed everything. And now I'm forgetting what guys they brought in. What move? Oh, I think it was a Brandon Hagel trade. I think they brought in Brandon Hagel. They brought somebody else, and that changed the entire outcome of the team. They came out. So, yeah, that's pretty much it, man, with Larkin. I'm not surprised. Minnesota would be a good fit, I think. I think they have a lot of pieces to give if it works out. I mean, that's the obvious one I think everybody's talking about. Montreal would be, I think from all the teams, Montreal would be the best fit, but I don't think he wants to go to Montreal. That's just me. Just assumption altogether. All right, next thing, Matthew Knies. The so-called trade rumor came out.
Yeah, I remember hearing about this in the middle of the year too, but like I guess now it's like coming out that it was an actual official like trade offer.
Like they happened 302.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah. I was kind of shocked like to hear it. More so as like a Toronto fan too, right? Because I'm like, that's one of your young talents, you know, like he's homegrown. You drafted him, you picked him up, and now you're like looking to move him. Why?
Yeah,
especially because you just re-signed him last year. He's one of your pieces for the future, right?
Yeah. I think those first 2 rounders are going to be pretty much like second rounders.
Mm-hmm. Just because, Montreal the next couple of years.
Yeah, Zervosky, I remember we talked about him about 2.5 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like, kid is really good. KHL Player of the Year. Like, he is going to make an impact. I don't think he's going to come next year to Montreal. I think it's a year after because of the contract. But that kid's going to be lights out. But the thing is, I get it. You know, a lot of people they're talking about Knies. They're like, okay, he's not worth this much. This is overpayment. But you got to understand that having a power forward with that much strength and the way he drives to the net, even with a bad year that he had last year, you could consider it a bad year.
But even still, right? Like,
but guys like that, man, especially power forwards,
it's hard to find.
They're hard to find, man.
Especially now.
Yeah, and a guy who has his head on right, he has good character.
Mm-hmm.
You never hear no off ice issues with this guy. Everything's been going great for him. So for Toronto, a guy who plays with his heart, why are you trading him? Like, it makes no sense. And even if even if that trade was going through, what was Toronto trying to accomplish last year doing that? That means you're going on if they made that trade, that means you're sending a very clear indication that now we're going on a full rebuild.
Yeah.
And then there's 100% chance right now that you're seeing Matthews. You're talking about trading him. There's 100% right now. I know their management's trying to convince him to stay. I don't know how that's going on. It's gonna be a lot of assumptions right now. But I think if that trade went through, it's 100% he's not sticking around. He's done.
Well, even the crazy part for me is you're trading him to one of your rivals, and imagine him coming back to Toronto and biting you in the butt, right?
Yeah.
So I think you're kind of even setting it up for more, I guess, controversy in the future, right? Imagine like a playoff series or something, and Knies just destroys you.
Yeah. He's a difference maker. He's a playoff performer. That guy comes. And he will, and he's still super young. He's going to get better and better with age.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I know Montreal fans are saying that, wow, that's an overpayment. But no, it isn't.
Well,
that's I think, especially because those firsts, you're looking at those firsts, they're not first, they're
really
seconds.
First, yeah.
So when you look at that, and they're not even telling you who the second prospect is, because it's not Michael Hage. It's not Reinbacher. So it's going to be some B- prospect. I wouldn't do it because Knies is a sure thing.
Well, even that too, and you don't even know how what's his name starts with S. The guy that we're talking about giving Toronto. Can't pronounce his name.
The guy with S?
Yeah, the Russian guy, KHL rookie that we were going to get back.
Zarovsky,
yeah. You don't know if he's going to pound in the NHL, right? So many players, like you see players do really well, like Jakob and stuff like that, do really well overseas and in the KHL.
No, but he's playing in adults league, man.
Yeah.
Like he is gonna be he's gonna be a really good player. But I'm saying if you're talking about Knies being 28 years old right now, or 27, 28, and you're trying to make this trade, I understand that kind of point of view. He may be getting outside that window. He needs to be on a win now mode, and Montreal wants to trade for that. Makes sense. But the kid is not 28. I think he's like 23.
No, I know.
So it makes absolutely no sense. You're trading a prospect for a bunch of 2 prospects and 2 picks, which will turn into prospects. But you got a sure thing with one prospect, and the other ones, one of them you're most likely 80% sure, and then the rest of them you have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you do that?
And like you said too, he's a power forward, and it's kind of like at a premium now, right?
Power forwards are hard, man. They're hard to find. There's only a handful of them.
Oh, for Montreal though, I think
it makes sense.
It makes sense.
It makes complete sense because they have a surplus of prospects, and they could give up their picks because they know their team's gonna be.
And they don't have a player that kind of, other than like kind of Anderson, they don't have like a player that kind of fits that mold for them, right?
Yeah, they need a winger like that. They need a centerman who's a little tougher to play 200-foot hockey. Gets a little more gritty. But yeah, the trade didn't go through, and it's funny because they were saying the rumors was. apparently Montreal's like, if Traveling was still as GM, it's like, if you're still sticking around, then you better honor this trade in the off season. And now he's out here. So like, wow. Oh, that's crazy. I don't even know if Toronto fans would be happy I think majority of them would be pissed. This Knies trade.
Well, I think
he's a fan. He's turning to a fan favorite. Just letting.
Well,
go.
the thing is too, I think as like for a fan base, that news you're trading away Knies, it kind of signals now too that you're rebuilding, right?
Yeah.
So it's not the noise you want to hear, but if you're gonna go that direction, at least like rather than because even now you still don't know what direction they're gonna go, right?
Yeah.
You haven't really heard anything from the team. It sounds like they're just gonna try and retool and try again, but I don't want to be stuck in constantly retooling, and you're kind of like, we could have just hit the rebuild and been competitive in the next like 5 years, whereas keep on retooling, and it's just mediocrity.
Yeah,
that's what I felt like it was in like the 2000s, like from 2000s. Like,
well, they never rebuilt properly.
Yeah.
They never even tried. As soon as they had some picks and they got away from some no trade clauses, then they made that Phil Kessel trade.
Well, yeah,
they went right back into it again.
Even like from like the Ferguson era when Ferguson was the GM, and then they went to Cliff Fletcher after.
Yeah, rest in peace. He passed away. I think 2 days ago.
Yeah,
it's tough.
No, so even then you went to Cliff Fletcher, and then it was Brent Burke. Like there was that period where the team just kept trying to retool, and they weren't really. I don't want to go back to that.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be that bad as long as you have Matthews and Nylander, because you still have star power, even though it may not take you far.
Well, even still, right? Like you can argue the same thing. You had Sundin.
No, Sundin was gone by then.
No, he was still there in the early parts. Like you had Sundin, he was like your major star. And then
Sundin was the first point when they started the rebuild.
Yeah,
so he was technically gone when the rebuild started.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but Ponikarovsky and Nick Andropov.
Yeah, but they're not. They're
no, but that's what I'm saying. I think Andropov was the best piece that they had to start the rebuild, because they had nothing and they had all these weird contracts. And Darcy Tucker's contract was there, and a couple other ones.
But even after, then you had the Phil Kessel when they brought in Kessel and Phaneuf, and then those are kind of your stars. And
they started the wrong way. It wasn't. That was not the way. That's not how you build your team. Because they traded for Dion Phaneuf too as well. Like they weren't drafting players. I mean, that's a long story. I don't know if you're going to be back to that.
I don't want to go back to that.
I think with that issue, it wasn't. That issue started because the Leafs were not drafting in the 90s and 2000s. They were all early 2000s. They just believed in throwing their money at whatever. They will grab any age player, throw money on it.
Pre-lockout, right?
Pre-lockout. So. When it was over and then the salary cap kicked in, the Leafs were already so behind because they relied on money. They didn't care about scouting as much.
Well, they didn't have to, right? You just give whoever.
That's why you had that issue for like 10 years. So the Leafs had to catch up with everybody else. So that's what I believe what happened, but we could move on. I think Friday night, I was telling you the QMJHL draft happened in Halifax, so home of the Mooseheads, and I ended up watching it on Friday night.
Where'd you watch? Just on YouTube?
Yeah. When it was over, I was just watching all the players that got drafted.
Okay.
So
they do like an actual formal like thing where the kids go up on stage.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It was properly done.
It
actually felt like the NHL, the way the NHL would do it.
Okay, so high production.
Yeah, it was high production. Everything's nice. So I was kind of surprised. Like, wow, this is kind of what I'm expecting the OHL. Like OHL, let's see. Hopefully, OHL could step it up to that. Yeah. But it was pretty cool. Yo, watch it. You're gonna be watching it when we're talking about the prospects and everything. Yep. But yeah. So first overall, Thomas Boisvert. Thomas Boisvert. That's his name. He got drafted to the Huskies.
Thomas.
They're like they were saying Thomas. Not even Thomas. I don't know how because it was recorded in French, so they were like all talking French. So I'm trying to like understand.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, they're speaking English and French, but a lot of the teams when they're going up on stage, they're speaking in French. So I'm trying to figure out how they're pronouncing the names. So I was trying my best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's 16 years old, 5'10", 152 pounds. He's a smaller guy. 62 games, he had 55 goals, 79 assists. I think it was 133 points.
In 55, and how many games?
That was in 62 games.
That's nuts.
62 games, 137 points.
That's pretty much what I tell my mom after every beer league game. Point a goal, get a hat trick every game.
Yeah, so he played at He played at Mount St. Charles Academy last year. I think he's in the States, under 15 last year. So that's where he rocked all those points, man. But the team, they already decided like weeks ago, before the draft even happened, that they were gonna go for this kid.
That was who they wanted.
Yeah, that's just who they wanted. Just he's more of like he's a pass first player, so he's a playmaker at heart. And then after that, everything else, speed, incredible. You want to put on his highlights? Like same thing. You're gonna see all these kids we saw in the OHL. We're gonna see in the Q now. Every single player, every single time they say high hockey IQ, they all have it. And this kid just like transition really good. This guy,
Sasha or Thomas?
no, Sasha is his cousin. So Sasha got drafted for the Blackhawks. He could actually just at full speed make plays, like just transition games good. He could just ability to make quick plays on high speed.
He's a center?
He's a center. Crazy acceleration, footwork, great crossovers. You know, this is typically what's happening with a lot of the kids, right? You're going to start seeing them just play at a high pace.
Decent release too, man.
Yeah, he has good release too. He could just analyze the plays very quick, open the game
nice
up.
Backhand you were right about
Yeah,
the
beautiful
passing.
passing. Dude, that's what he's known for is the passing.
No.
Yeah.
Like you said, even defensively, man, he's like, I'm just looking, he's like getting in the shooting lanes, you know, even though he's not blocking the shots, he's getting his stick in there.
Yeah, if I had to put a comparison, it's a little hard, but I was watching him. I said maybe the closest is maybe like a Nick Suzuki. Yeah.
The biggest thing for me was just watching his highlights, just him just even like going back and forth at the point, right? I guess it might have been a penalty kill or something like that, but
yeah,
him getting the shooting lanes and just trying to, you know, mark up the top of the crease.
the crease.
So,
Yeah.
or not the crease, the zone.
The issues I would say with him is the board limitations because of his size. He's not really physical, right? He doesn't get into the corners, fights for as much as the other guys we're going to talk about. Sometimes he will maybe make a play in very congested areas that he shouldn't be making. So sometimes some decisions. But yeah, we'll see how it transitions when he plays for the Q. Oh, when he plays in the Q, right? When he plays for the Huskies, game's gonna get much faster, right? Can he adapt to that?
I was gonna ask, like, this like completely kind of side related, but like, do you feel like the different leagues, like the OHL, the WHL, and the Q, like there's different stylistically?
From right now, the OHL and the Q, I'm not seeing much of a difference.
I think
I haven't really looked at the WHL, but I know for a fact in the past is typically WHL makes they don't make a high quality player as much as a player in the OHL or the Q.
Yeah,
that's why I've seen as a production wise, like quantity wise.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some great players coming out of WHL. We'll talk about that most likely next week because their draft already happened. It happened on May 8th, so it happened more than a month ago. Yeah, I was surprised. I'm like, it happened a little early. I was planning on watching it too, but then I just
all their teams are out of the playoffs, so they have nothing else to do.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, yeah. But this is the first time the Huskies ever drafted first overall.
Okay.
So this was like the big statement that they made was drafting him. But yeah, they also say that he has the highest potential out of all the players.
16, right? So they'll have him for like at least a couple of years.
Yeah.
And then after that, most likely, I feel like the way kids are going now too is as soon as they hit 18, they're most likely going to try and.
It depends. It depends on how. If you're still producing at that level.
Yeah.
If you continue producing, then you're going to go to the NCAA. Right?
Yeah.
That's just how it is. You're going to go play on for the next challenge.
No.
If this one becomes too easy.
No, not even that. I think it's just they're getting attracted with the NIL money, right?
Yeah. What did you think overall, just watching his highlights?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, Nick Suzuki, kind of like a fair comparison.
Yeah.
And, like I said, the biggest thing for me is the motor.
Mm-hmm.
Like him just seeing him, whether it was a penalty kill or he's just, playing in the defensive zone, just him skating around. He had a really nice backhand pass. That was really, but even the thing with these highlights is just watching it as a fan or whatnot.
Yeah,
it's just their best plays, right? So
it's their best plays, yeah. And for me, I try my best to actually watch their games, which would still be like highlights of their games, and then you just try to pick, like, just try to watch when they're away from the puck,
what they're doing.
Usually that's how I would watch them and see what kind of plays they make. And I feel like he's a very smart player. Yeah. I think as you see, all the top 5 players you're going to see, and we saw in the OHL as well, the draft one we talked about last week, is just that all these players are just smart. Like, you have to have high IQ to be drafted very high. You could have skating abilities, but if you don't have hockey IQ, like a very high hockey IQ, you're just not going to get drafted high.
No, it makes a big difference, right?
Yeah.
You know, like it's one thing you can always get better skating. You can become faster.
Yeah.
You can't grow.
Yeah.
So the size is another one, right? But hockey IQ, it's either you have it or you don't, right?
Yeah. So second overall was Vincent Boutet. I think that's how you say it.
Vincent.
That's it, right? That's it. So he got drafted by Victoriaville Tigers. He's 15 years old, 6'1", 190 pounds. He's a defenseman. He played for the Blizzards, under 18 AAA team. Their team only lost 2 games last year. Only 2 games.
Just like my beer league team.
Yeah, well, I guess so.
No,
So-
my beer league team never loses. I always tell mom we win.
So you know what the cool thing about this guy is? I most likely when you're gonna be watching his highlights, you're not gonna find anything like crazy offensively. This guy is a stay back at home defenseman. Like you consider him like defensive rock in the back end.
Pretty big kid, eh?
Big kid. Shut
Look
down.
at all the
big
hits.
minutes.
Yeah.
Like physical hits a lot. Stick check. He's very smart at reading the play. He could. He's really good in front of his own net, pushing guys out. So I think that one of the scouts was saying like he's one of those kind of guys that if there's a minute left into the game, you're up by 1, and you need a defenseman to just close out the game and win it. Is this guy?
Mm-hmm.
He could do it. And Victoriaville is already known for having so many defensemen. They didn't even need to draft a defenseman. This is a very forward-heavy draft. And they ended up going for a defenseman. So it kind of threw everybody off. Like, wow, okay. Because they thought that in the top 5, there's going to be no defenseman getting drafted.
One thing I'm just noticing, you might already been have it in your notes, but he's very good on the puck.
Yeah.
And especially like shielding it from like other forwards that are forechecking and stuff like that too.
He breaks cycles.
Yeah.
Yeah. His stick check is amazing, phenomenal. So they're actually saying from this draft, he is the most pro-ready defensive prospect. Like he is the best defenseman, of course. That's why he went so early. But right now, Victoriaville, it seems like they drafted him because he's gonna become their core defenseman.
Mhm.
They're gonna build their future around him. And if I had to put a comparison, it would be from the Islanders' Pollock.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say Chikrin maybe.
Yeah, I think he idolized his game after Chikrin.
Chikrin, yeah.
He's talking about it too. I think he said Chikrin. But if I had to pick a defenseman that I feel like he plays more like, I think it's Pollock. Oh no, sorry, Pellick. Did I say Pellick?
I don't know. I think you said Pellick the first time.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Adam Pellick. Sorry, it was Adams. Yeah, Adam Pellick. That's who I have as comparison to. A guy that's players just hate playing against. It's this guy. He's very stubborn, always at the right place at the right time, and I think those kind of defensemen aren't really talked about much.
They're not super flashy,
And
right?
Yeah, because they're not flashy. They're not going to be moving around the puck.
But they're
too much.
serviceable.
Yeah, maybe he could be a second power play guy, but I wouldn't really put him there because this guy only all season long in 42 games he had like 9 points, 2 goals, 7 assists, right? So he's not really known for offensive distribution. But the curious thing about him is, all right, so you're a guy that stabilizes the back end, and now you're playing in a bigger league. Is the pace gonna get to the point where you have to start cheating in a way where you got to get away from the game that you're so comfortable with, that people know about? Or are you going to be able to slow down the entire game and dominate it and still be yourself?
Well, he's a year younger than you said. He's 15
He's
too,
15,
right? So he
yeah.
still has so much time to like grow and get better. The biggest thing for me was just the physicality bit.
He's
Like
very
I
calm.
think the first 2 highlights, and it was just like really big hits.
Yeah. Like
For whether
he's-
breaking up an opposing rush or
Yeah.
or just it's just someone on the boards trying to win a puck battle and just laying down a good hit.
Yeah. And he's very calm, decision making,
Mm-hmm.
but then he gets very aggressive when he has to be in position. So you're not going to just see him a step or 2 out. He will be there, always trying to stop you. So yeah, defense wins hockey, man, wins games. And that's the defenseman that they chose. Another thing he may have to work is just his offensive game. It doesn't have to be crazy good to the point where you're like Cale Makar, but you got to, when the pace gets up there, and maybe if you're down by 1 or 2 and you're putting in big minutes, are you going to be able to push the pace to get your team
Back in the game.
back in the game?
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's going to be another thing. And I guess that's what scouts are hoping that he keeps improving on.
No, well, I was gonna say foundationally, like the skating, you can see he's like very solid.
Yeah.
And even like a couple of plays where he had the puck and the opposing team's trying to forecheck, he does a really good job shielding,
Mhm.
the opposing player out of the play. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's a big kid too.
Oh yeah. He's a big kid for sure. Next kid is went third overall, Jakob MacKinnon, to the Armada, and he's also his teammate. Played for the Blizzards. The Armada are rebuilding. He's 5'9", 157 pounds. He's a left winger. This pick actually got traded. So originally, I believe it was Halifax. The Moose had this pick. They traded. They got Matteo Nobert, and he's a third rounder for Vegas. So he got traded to Halifax because they're win now mode, and Armada are rebuilding. And so the game became aggressive, picked him up. So he was projected to go first overall. And he didn't. But he had 25 goals, 26 assists, 51 points, and 42 games. And as I told you, same thing. They only lost 2 games all season. So, plays very fast, high pace. So Jakob is considered the most skilled player in this draft. So that's what you're going to start seeing more flash in his highlights. Crazy hands. Edge work, of course, mechanically sound. He's a really good release. When you're looking at that, he's an elite playmaker and he's an elite goal scorer. So you can't really put him in a category where he's just a playmaker. He's not. He's a really good goal scorer as well.
That's the thing that kind of stood out to me is just from watching what I could see is just his passing ability.
And he plays bigger than he is. He's a very gritty player, right? So, but is it going like he's always fighting for inside position, tries to just get in, right? But now you're going to be playing in the queue. Can you still play in the same way, being a smaller guy? Do you have to add more like muscle, right? To continue playing that style, or is your style going to start changing?
Well, even in his highlights, like he had a couple of really good cuts to the net.
Yeah,
where he's not shying away from contact or traffic, right?
Not at all.
And I think that's where his hands come in play as well, right?
Very smart player. If I had to put a comparison, I think it would be closer to Braden Point for him. Yeah, as a left winger, it's not a center, but Braden Point, very smart. I think I said defensively he's really good. I think defense is where he needs work.
Okay.
It's actually not his strong suit. It's just style-wise, he plays like Braden Point, but I think that's the point. Sorry, that's the point. Pun.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. But the defensive part is where he actually needs to do work. Like that's where maybe that's kind of the reason why he didn't get drafted high.
I think he's trying to say, even in here, he's trying to mimic his game kind of like Crosby, right?
Yeah, trying to mimic his game like Crosby, but I could see more like Braden Point because I think you're going to be putting more of his size as well because Braden Point's a smaller guy too as well. So that's where I would compare him to say about
I would say like similar. See, it looks very similar to kind of like Thomas, like kind of like the way he plays.
Yeah.
I didn't see as much defensive side. Maybe it's just the highlight package, right?
Yeah, it's a highlight package. If you watch other things,
you probably see it as much more, but didn't really see much defensive highlights. But good things I really liked from his highlight package. He had a couple of really nice passes, which is kind of good, and they weren't like easy passes for someone to like kind of pick up. They were kind of like wow passes, right?
Yeah.
To kind of find a guy like open beside the net, and then another big thing that I really liked was he wasn't scared to go. Get in the dirty areas or crash the net.
Yeah. If he starts beefing up, he's going to become a threat for sure in the queue. And the top 3 teams, you'll notice all 3 teams all 3 players, are from very successful teams. They've been dominating. So,
well, you said this team just lost like 2, right?
They lost 2 games all year.
Yeah. Still can't beat my beer league team, but you know.
Yeah. The next player is Pierre-Alexandre Lemieux, getting drafted 4th for the Cataractes. Yeah, a little harder for us speaking English, but hey, I think I did pretty well. But yeah, he's 6'3", 181 pounds, centerman, shoots left, played for Phoenix, under 18 AAA team.
Look at his like just his photo of
Yeah.
in just like the cover photo for the video.
So this kid, I feel like this kid has some swagger to him. He's a very confident kid. From the interviews, I try to understand when he's speaking in French, but like some of them in English. But just watching him, it seems like he's very confident. 38 points, 19 goals, 19 assists in 42 games. So almost point per game.
Oh, he looks
It's
massive.
very difficult to move, man. This guy, I would say he idolizes his game. Not idolizes his game, but I feel like he plays more like Brady Tkachuk, a power forward. But as a centerman. So that's his comparison. He's big, very competitive, protects the puck really well, plays in the hard areas of the ice. So the cool thing about this kid is that you know how every single year they do the cup. They do the QMJHL Cup, just like the OHL Cup, right? So they get the camps, they get the best players are playing against each other. They're saying from all the players, this guy was the best player on the ice because it was nothing to do with the flash, right? He wasn't doing no toe drags, he wasn't doing any of the crazy moves, but it was more of very physical, right? Just playing the right way, blocking shots. So just using his body, and then his stock went up. He wasn't even originally supposed to go top 5. He just moved up.
Yeah, I was gonna say the physicality part. You could kind of he even says it. I think himself trying to mirror like one of the Kachucks, right? I think he says Brady Tkachuk.
Oh, he did, huh? Okay.
Yeah. So no, you can see that side of it because I think there's this. I think in the Q.
You could just say the Q.
The Q. Yeah, in the Q. In the prospects game, it looks like there's one hit where he took out like 2 guys.
Yeah, that's a prospect game I was talking about. Like, that's where all the scouts just started watching.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Whoa, all right.
No, and even here it looks like he has a solid like clapper.
Yeah,
like that's one thing you don't see as much anymore. And good shot.
Yeah,
pretty good release.
Yeah.
One thing I kind of noticed, maybe it's just me because he's kind of in high traffic areas all the time, is like the skating. Like I want to see a bit more of the skating and stuff like that. Right?
That's the thing, right? We'll see in the Q. Can he continue with the pace?
Yep.
Is he still going to be able to bully other bigger players now? You're playing in the majors, right? Like, how's that going to work out? So those are the questions. But I don't know. Based on how I was listening to him, it just seems like he's very confident.
He's built like a tank.
Oh yeah.
Seems like it's very hard. Even when he had the puck, it's very hard to get the puck off him and try and get him off balance, right?
Yeah.
But that's like he's built really well.
That's
I kind of want to see like all his highlights too. They're in high traffic areas, so you're not going to really see a lot.
But
of
that's his game, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not going to see. It's not going to be like sexy or anything with some crazy toe drags or if he's doing any dangles or anything like that. I feel like from all the guys, he's more ready for they were saying that too. I think the scouts came out. The scouts said that he's the most ready for the pros right now. If you just put him in, this kid's ready.
One thing that's it's kind of like a dying thing now, I feel, is like board work.
Yeah.
Right? Just being able to shield the puck on the boards and cycling and kind of getting into the dirty areas. And you don't see it as much like talked about anymore, right? Everything's like, just passing around and trying to open up space like that. But I feel like, having players like this, it's a big advantage, right?
Yeah.
No, and I feel like that's a good strength to his
And we
game
were
too.
talking about the Montreal Canadiens, right? What are they missing right now? They're missing a guy who's big, who could play the cycle game, who plays little with the grit. Bigger guy, gets in front of the net, can't push him out, and they're looking around. There's a handful of guys in the league. There's not many, right, that are out there available. So if there are players like this and they continue playing really well, then when you're going to see the NHL draft happening, they're going to look at this kind of kid like, all right, we see all these flashy kids. It's great. And one player could have way more potential than the other. But hey, if there's a kid that could play in the NHL and we feel like, it's like a Tom Wilson, Alex Tuck, right? You could even say that he plays kind of like Alex Tuck as well. If you could have a player like that, why wouldn't I draft him? So a guy like that would just go and get drafted earlier. So you could see that for sure. If he continues playing his game and improving, you could definitely see that. And the last guy is Jakob Royer. Got drafted also Victoriaville Tigers. So he's 16, 5'11", 170 pounds, 12 goals, 20 assists, 32 points in 41 games. He plays for the Escalades. Escalades. I think that's how you say it. Escalades, under 18 AAA team. The Tigers actually made a trade with St. John. I think they traded their 12th and their 16th pick. Sorry, their 14th and their 17th pick to move up to grab him. And then all the scouts were surprised because he never even was supposed to go. He never was supposed to go top 5. So he moved up.
Looks like a pretty big kid too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's 5'11", 170 pounds. Yeah.
Oh, it looks bigger than he kind of actually is then.
Yeah. But he does play. He is a power forward.
No, he's pretty good fast skater too. Like
Yeah.
just seeing him chase after dumped pucks and stuff like that too, right?
Yeah.
Looks like he can play pretty well even on the defensive zone. There's a couple of plays here where he kind of just knocks the puck off the defender, right?
Yeah.
So good stick
Like
control.
like his forecheck, he's very aggressive.
Yeah.
He has a lot of pace. He creates a lot of turnovers. He's a right winger. So another winger. But if I had to put a comparison, I would say he's like a Bor Horvat, but as a winger. If I had to put somebody, just with the way he steals the puck and creates a lot of turnovers, a lot of pace. Very smart player, could analyze the play before it happens.
Even similar to like MacKinnon, one thing I'm kind of noticing is he's not afraid to cut to the net, even if there's traffic in front, right? Like he scored a couple nice, really, really nice goals in front of the net. So
yeah,
it's one thing I kind of like.
For his size, he has a lot of strength. As you were saying, that he
plays bigger.
Yeah.
I was gonna say even just watching just him, he looks big.
Mm-hmm.
But if he's only like 5'11", like you said, he's definitely playing a lot bigger than he is, right?
The issue with him is that there are times that he's like the best player on the ice, and then there's some times that you're like, is he even playing today? Like we can't find him. So there's the engagement right now. It's like, can he be engaged? Can he keep that level every shift, every game? And that's the issue he's been having, and that's kind of the reason why the scouts had him further in the draft. But then, of course, Victoriaville traded up the 14th and 17th pick to get this pick, so they clearly see something in him that they could work on and make him a cornerstone franchise player.
He's 16.
He's 16.
No, that's one thing too. Like I feel like if you have someone you really like, go out and get him, right? Like 100%. Because if you really like him, there's definitely going to be a reason why you want to pick him up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And even as a player too, like if someone does that, I think it's even bigger boost to you, right? Hey, someone really wanted me that bad that they were willing to.
Yeah, even they asked him too. They're like, when they made that trade before they drafted you, were you assuming that they're going to draft you? He's like, no. He's like, I had no idea. He's like, I was nervous. And then they ended up drafting him. So they're like, whoa, where did that come from?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you think when like an organization does something like that, not even just in like youth hockey?
I think that's a huge badge of honor.
Well, you don't see the kind of like the pressure side of it?
No,
like,
I mean,
not trying to put pressure or anything, right?
Of course, you could put it as pressure, but if a team traded 2 of their picks where people thought they could have picked you, and then they traded 2 picks to move up and to draft you, I feel like that's a badge of honor, man.
It's a confidence thing, right?
They see something in you, and now that gives you more of a chip on your shoulder and be like, all right, like this team wanted me so badly, like I'm committed, and I'm gonna come out right. I feel like you gotta look at it in more of a positive way.
I think that's a good way to look at it too.
Right? Because if you're looking negative, I'm so nervous. No, it's like you're gonna get drafted regardless. But the fact is, a team traded two picks away just to get you. That just sends a message that we see something that a lot of other teams don't see.
Well, especially if it's just 2 picks, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like the other 2 teams.
14 and 17 they're still valuable picks.
Yeah.
So just to move up in the top 5 to grab you, I think he should definitely carry that like a badge of honor. I would if I was getting drafted like that. Some team did that. Yeah, sure. You could deep down feel some pressure, but you're like, wow, all right. So they're gonna. I can't wait to show them what I have, and I'm gonna. Hopefully that brings the engagement, like the motivation that you need.
Yeah.
Right. Brings a chip on your shoulder. That would be great. But yeah, but when you hear these kids talk, all of them, they're starting to get their like deeper voices. Like,
Oh, well,
whoa,
even-
they do not look like they're 15, 16-year-old
Well,
kids.
even just listening to some of their, like, I didn't really get, so I was trying to read subtitles, but then I noticed that these subtitles, they were in French because it's the cues. So I'm like just trying to pick out words that I know. And even just looking off the video, like all these kids, super professional.
Yeah,
Right?
they all got media training too, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
Which is crazy at that young of a age, right?
Oh yeah, they start early, man.
Oh, that's what I was saying. At that age, I was just F-bombs everywhere and everything,
Oh.
right?
Yeah, man, what the hell was I doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's the top 5 of the Q. Maybe next week we'll talk about the WHL. I don't know. We'll see what happens next week.
Maybe go to a Q game this year. We like I've never been to.
Yeah, that we can for sure.
Yeah, the more that like kind of we're talking about minor hockey and major hockey, like it's more, it's very interesting. Like I feel like there's not a lot of eyes on this.
Yeah.
As well, right?
I think next year we're talking about it like as a milestone. We'll try to hit like one OHL loop, where we could watch maybe like 3 or 4 games, and we'll do another one in the queue.
Yeah, especially for us because
Yeah.
Quebec not that far.
It's not far. It's not far. We could definitely make a trip. But yeah, we'll see. I'm still hoping that we could go to the draft, the OHL draft.
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
Yeah, but if not, best of luck to everybody. But yeah, I hope we could be there. It seems like it'll be a pretty cool experience. But anyways, we'll continue with the playoffs next week. I think next week it's it. When we do the episode next week, the playoffs should be over.
I don't want it to be.
Don't want it to be over, but I think it's going to be over. And then we're most likely talking about the NHL draft.
And where teams go from
where
there.
teams
right?
go from there. We're talking about free agency, and then where every team needs to improve on the off season. I think those are the pretty much the topics that are left. And,
Even
yeah.
RFAs, man. There's a couple RFAs, and you're kind of like you kind of see it more and more now. Like we'll
Yeah.
talk about it more next week, maybe. But you're kind of starting to see like some players actually get offer sheeted, right?
Let's see if teams are going to get aggressive.
Especially now.
I want to see the NHL draft becoming exciting again.
Yeah. Well,
See
even
if something
now the
happens.
cap's gone up like quite a bit. So
Yeah. See if who wants to start it up.
the money talks, man.
Yeah, let's go.